Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome back to our weekly interviews. I am Vera Morris with Beauty Queens Galore, the pageant resource, and I'm not in my usual spot, as you can tell in my background, hanging out in Vegas today. But I had to have the opportunity to talk to this queen that we have coming up today. So let me tell you who we're chatting with today. The one, the only international Mrs. USA, Chimere Nicole. Let me tell you a little bit about her, just a little bit. She's passionate advocate for women's rights and personal development. She's a business owner, blogger, content creator, and I can tell you has two of the cutest little girls ever. And recently won the title of International Mrs. USA, and we are literally ecstatic to get to know you and have us with us today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it is such a pleasure to talk to you. I'm so excited.
I'm excited to have you. Okay, let's go ahead because there's a lot I want to dig into with you.
Okay.
So tell me, why pageantry? How did you get into pageantry?
Oh, this story is very interesting. I'm a cosmetologist. I have my own business. And so I have been doing pageant girls for a little bit. So it was my job to make sure that the queens were presentable for stage. And I was in the process of starting my mentorship program and writing my book. And one of my clients said, I think you should do pageantry. And I said, no, that's not for me. It's my job to make sure that you go out and you look pretty on stage and you're doing your thing, but that's not for me. She said, no, I think it is. It's a good way for you to talk about the book and the mentorship program. You have the look. And I was like, no. So it took a little bit of convincing for about a year. And I said, you know what, I'll give it a try. And so my first pageant, I won People's Choice. And when I won that, it was just because I knew that like people were voting for me. And I was like, wait, people like me enough to vote and like spend money, and this is a thing. And so I said, oh, I'm gonna try it again the next year. And I tried it next year, and that was my second pageant, and I won.
Wow.
Yeah,
See,
this is New
you
Jersey,
stepped out
America.
on faith and you took that chance. And that's a
Yes,
big pageant you won. Your first, it was Miss New Jersey America, Mrs.
yes. That
That's a
was my
big
that was
one.
my second. Yes.
See, that's a big one. And
Yeah.
now, so you've got the pageant bug because once you get in it, there is no going back.
That is that is why we're here. That is how we got here. Absolutely. Yep.
So tell me, what made you decide you wanted to compete for International Mrs. USA?
So I was actually in between two pageant systems before I made my decision, one of which you're very, very familiar with. And I decided that International Miss was the best platform for me because it was a platform based pageant. So it has three categories: it is International Miss, Mrs. USA, and then Miss USA. So there are three titles that you can win with this pageant system. And I knew that if I didn't win the international title, that the Mrs. title would be a great option for me as I am a married competitor. And I also really thought that because it was a platform based pageant, that this would align with my goals and my values. And our director she's wonderful. So she's like, this is your platform, run with it. And that was what I really wanted in terms of support from a pageant system, someone who would give me that leeway to really take my platform and run with it, but also give me the opportunity to really promote the system. And so this was the best option for me.
Wow, that's amazing. So where was the pageant located this year?
It was in Orlando, Florida, and it's actually going to be in Orlando, Florida again next year. We just announced today, same location. It was beautiful. So it's going to be at the Rosen and Central in Orlando, Florida next year.
Wow, that is so much
Yes.
fun. That
Yeah,
is
Florida
amazing.
was beautiful and it wasn't too hot, so I was happy.
We know how hot Florida can get.
Oh,
So
yeah. Oh, Florida can be deadly sometimes, but we were nice and cool. I was very happy.
that's amazing. And
Yeah.
what a way for you to really go out there and promote your platform, which I'm going
Oh,
to
yeah.
get to because it's so amazing that I'm going to get to it. But
Okay.
before we get to your platform, I want to ask you a very specific question. So, as
Sure.
you know, um, Beauty Queens Galore, we are a huge pageant resource, and we're a good resource for amazing title holders such as yourself and vendors and directors. We have a resource for everybody.
Yes.
So, in your opinion, as a title holder, what more do you want to see from us, or even the pageant community as a whole?
I would probably say authenticity in pageantry. I think even with myself coming into pageantry and still honestly being a novice compared to you, I've done my research on you and you have an extensive background in pageantry. And so I would definitely say transparency. When I've been able to go to pageants and meet with other competitors and see so many diverse women from so many backgrounds, and then when we get on stage and we're actually competing, to see some of these women kind of fall into the trap of, I should look a certain way, I should behave a certain way. But when we have these smaller side conversations, I'm just in awe of the personalities and that the diversity they bring to the table. And it's really not seen on stage. And it's really not seen a lot of times in interview as well. And I think for me, one of the things that I think makes me stand out, not only because, I tend to have a big personality, but it is because I'm authentic to who I am. And it stands out in a room full of women trying to be cookie cutter. And so I think for me moving forward, that's what I would want to see more in pageantry, and coaches who don't coach everyone the same, because that also contributes to the cookie cutter pageant queens that we see. Everyone's saying the same thing, the verbiage is the same, the messaging is the same. It's almost like our quote or our joke, world peace. So I would definitely want to see a little bit of diversity and some authenticity in pageantry.
And I agree with you. I've always said that I wish there was more of that behind the scenes, because a lot of times what people see is the glitz and the glam of the
Yes.
pageant.
Yes.
They're not really seeing the hustle, the blood, the sweat, the tears, like the
Yeah.
hours that we're up, doing the
Yes.
community service and
Yes.
being a mom and being like they're not seeing really all the behind the scenes. They're seeing what we choose to share,
Correct.
which they're not seeing all the hard work. So I do
Yeah.
agree with you on that. And I think if more women saw that, like you said, it would eliminate a lot of that cookie cutter,
Yeah.
because, as women, we are unique and we are special and we should be celebrated. So I agree with you 100% on that.
Oh yeah.
And let me ask you this question, because you have done so much and you have created such a legacy. Like I said, I've been scoping you out and following you. I was like, oh, I don't want to like too much stuff because she'll know I'm following her and looking her up. But you're just an amazing woman, and I love when I see women out there really making a difference. So for you, what do you want to be remembered for?
Mm. Service. Service. Um, I've been in the beauty space for over 20 years now. And although I love, and I mean I love my glam, my hair, my makeup, my all of the things. I love all of that, but I truly want to leave a legacy of service, of actually impacting women in a way that transcends beauty. It was, I met her, there was a light in her that attracted me to make me want to be better. It was something about her that I met her and I wanted to do more in the community. I wanted to help other women. I wanted to be impactful with my children. I wanted to just leave a legacy of service and really be impactful in the areas that I'm impactful in. Yeah, I would definitely say service. Yeah.
And I would agree 100% with that. Just by just looking at everything you've done,
Yeah.
you definitely do give back so much to your community, and it's to be commended.
Thank you.
So, in terms of pageantry, what do you think, as a Mrs. International title holder yourself, what do you feel as Mrs. overall have a responsibility in terms of pageantry, these Mrs. winners and contestants? What responsibility should they have?
I believe that is prioritizing family. A lot of times with Mrs. competitors, and I've been guilty of this myself because I wear so many hats throughout the day. There have been times where I prioritize things that go against actually the Mrs. title. My first job is mom, wife, and then everything else is secondary to that. And so I would say as a Mrs. Competitor, making sure that family is the center and that you see that in our impact. You see that in our service that sometimes I take my children with me. They don't necessarily want to go all the time. But it's very important for me to make sure that my daughters see the impact that I have at home as well as in the community. And so my family is very much a part of the impact that I have. And so I think as a Mrs. Competitor is really making sure that family is the center, then everything else is secondary.
Absolutely. And you brought up a really good point about balance. And, I think we do struggle with that. I always say that a lot of us women have
Oh
the
yeah.
superwoman syndrome where we
Yep.
just do and do and do and take and take and
Me.
take.
Me.
Yeah,
No, me. Absolutely.
seriously. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, how do you manage to balance it all, because you do wear many hats and a crown. So how are you able to manage it all? Because mental health is so important, and trying to maintain that mental health in a positive way. What is your secret?
I'll share my secret. I had it today. I take mental health breaks. And so what like today, typically for a hairstylist, most salons are closed. So for me as a mom, that's normally the day that I'm ripping and running for the kids, or I'm trying to figure out what's going to be for dinner for the week and all of that. And I woke up this morning and I literally said, nope, not doing any of it. Everyone's eating chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets for everybody. And I took myself to the museum. Everything that I had on my to-do list, I crossed it off and I said, in order for me to be the best mom, wife, business owner, title holder, sister, aunt, mentor, all of the many hats that I wear, I have to fuel myself. I have to pour into myself before I can pour into other people. And as you said earlier, the superwoman syndrome, I
Yes.
suffer with that very badly. And I've learned over this pageantry journey that if I don't pour into myself, there's nothing else for me to give anybody else. So I have to make sure that my cup is 100% full and that anything else is what I can give. So my secret is prioritizing myself so that I can prioritize everyone else in succession. That's my secret.
Absolutely. And amen to that. So I'm still working on that. And it's good to be
It's tough.
selfish, 'cause, and it's a tough word to say because people always look at selfish as something negative.
It's
But
not.
in this case, it's positive.
Yes. I've learned because especially as title holders, we're conditioned to give. But what happens when there's nothing else to give? When you have nothing else left, you're of service to no one. And I've had to reach times where I was like running on empty, and my body literally said, no more. And when you get to that place, you're like, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. So I went to Starbucks and I spent my $6 on my latte and I walked around the museum and I looked at some art and I spoke to people and I just lived my best life today. And I'm just as happy as I want to be.
That's a good feeling because what you did, you just poured into
Oh,
yourself, like you
yeah.
talked about. So, tomorrow you'll be able to pour into others because you took that little bit of time to pour into yourself. It's so important. I
Yes.
mean, it's so
Yes.
important, and
Highly
there's
recommend.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yes. And your support system wants you to do it. They're encouraging you to do it
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
And my husband, he notices one when I don't cook. But you get chicken nuggets too, sir. But he notices now that when I kind of like just kind of go off and I come back, he's like, oh yeah, you're just happy, you're energized, and you have music on in the house and you're more upbeat and you're happy because I'm feeding myself. I have so much to give to everybody. And he notices, and the children notice as well. And so now he's like, you need more money to go? Go ahead, have fun. And so, he's becoming very supportive of it. He didn't understand it at first, but now he's like, oh yeah, go. Have fun. So
He
yeah, it
gets
works.
it. Because, like men, he's the mister of this title holder. So
Yes. Oh yeah.
He understands firsthand how things are.
Oh yeah.
So tell me, what does winning outside of the crown look like for you?
Winning. That's that's a very loaded question for someone like me. I am one of those people, I have visions of grandeur. I do. Winning for me is essentially being at peace with the decisions that I make, knowing that those decisions are impactful to other people that I care about. That's winning for me. So my children, making decisions that I know my children um, can be impacted for a generation, knowing that decisions that I'm making are going to impact my home in a positive way, and that I'm truly living out my life's purpose, and I'm happy about it, and I'm striving to become better every day. That for me is winning. That's success for me.
Absolutely. And when you know what your purpose is, I'm telling you, there's
Game
nothing
changer.
like it. I
Game
mean,
changer. Game changer.
find
Yeah.
it, and that's what keeps you going. I think
Yes.
that's what makes us not want to stop, is because we find that purpose and we want to live it, especially when it's about service. When you want to give
Right.
back, you can't give back enough because you found that purpose within yourself. So I agree with
Yeah.
everything you just said. As
And
you
I
can see, that passion about
Yeah,
purpose,
I think,
is
and it's
there.
funny because people, they typically ask like, how did you do it, and how did you do this, and how did you make all of these great strides? And honestly, I say this, I feel like I'm like in a like I'm having deja vu, but it's truly when you find your why, and when you know your why, your life changes. Everything changes, and it just really keeps you steadfast in what you're doing because you're able to pursue it 100% because you know what your purpose is. And it just fuels me every day. It fuels me because I know it, what I'm here for. I know who I'm impacting. I know who I'm serving. I know why I'm serving. And it just keeps me going. It keeps me going. So finding that why is the game changer.
It is the game changer,
Yeah.
and you managed to partner it with pageantry.
Yes.
So let me ask you,
Yes.
because I say you're a newbie to pageantry, because some have started when they were babies. They were doing pageants as babies.
Yes.
So when do you feel like there is the right time to do a pageant or start in pageantry?
A right time.
Yes.
I would say yes. I would say when you're at the cusp of understanding what type of woman you are and what type of woman you want to be, even if you're not there yet. So even with my journey, I knew I wanted to help people. I didn't have a really clear understanding of how. I knew that I wanted to be a woman who was, again, known and her legacy was of service. I didn't really understand how, though. Pageantry has helped me to develop my why, but I knew that I had a bigger purpose and a larger goal to find and to achieve. Pageantry helped me find that. So I think once a woman comes into the part of her life where she knows she wants better and she's trying to find her why, that's when she should try pageantry. It's going to help her find it if she hasn't found it already.
And that leads me to something that you really do live, and that is helping women discover ourselves
Yes,
or rediscover ourselves.
yes,
You do such a good job with that. And that leads to what I just asked you about pageantry. There may be some women who are going to listen to this and say, I've always wanted to do it, but I say nobody else does this but themselves, whether you
yeah.
try to talk yourself out of doing things like that. What advice can you give any woman with anything she wants to achieve who may be afraid to take those next steps to do it?
I have a few pieces of advice. I can't just say one thing. I would say first, you are the author of your life. You write this story. So when you turn that page, what you see on that page is solely up to you. If you want that page to say, I did everything and I tried everything until I figured out what it was that I needed to do, or you can say, or you can have a page that's blank.
Yeah.
So I would say, Try until you realize that you can't give up, or you can just have a book with no pages. Um, you just have to do it. You have to figure out what it is that really sets your soul on fire. You do. And once you get that spark and that flame ignites, that's it. All you need is to find the spark. So keep searching until you find the spark. That's what I would say. My biggest piece of advice.
Ooh, keep searching until you find the spark. That's one I'm going to remember for sure.
Yes.
You got to keep searching and never give up.
Yeah.
It's
Keep
important.
looking for it.
Absolutely. So, damn, I got to know about this. And every time I say it with enthusiasm because this is something I like to say anyway. Tell us about hashtag girl yes. And I say it all like that.
Ooh.
That's how every time I like some with your post, I'm like, yes. And then when I saw hashtag girl yes, I was
Yes.
like, well, it makes sense why I have this response.
Yeah.
So tell us about girl yes.
Uh, this is a part of the find your purpose, how pageantry has helped me find my purpose. Again, started in the salon. One of the things, typically when you're doing hair and I have this moment where you kind of turn your client to the mirror and she's like, ooh, I love it. She starts feeling herself, right?
That's right.
And, and for me, it's kind of like, that's the gratification of my talent has allowed her to feel good about herself. And so the yes part was like the affirmation, like, yes, this is you. This is the beauty of who you are. And girl just came from a word that I always use, girl. Girl.
Girl.
And it can girl can mean so many different things, but I think that it just basically came together as who my audience was, females, women. And yes, as an affirmation of yes, you can do X, Y, and Z. And so when I put those two together, that's where girl yes came from. So I said it to a client one day, and as soon as it came out of my mouth, my heart, it's like my heart like skip a beat. I can't describe this feeling to you, but it was just like, it was the aha moment. But for me, it was more emotional. You know what I mean? Because it was like I was looking for something to always tell women it's never too late. You can do this. And I say that because my journey to pageantry, to entrepreneurship, to motherhood, to education has always been non-traditional. I didn't get my college degree until I was in my 30s. I didn't start having children until I was in my 30s. I just graduated college this past May, completed my degree this past
Congratulations.
May.
I saw that.
Yes, it's never too late. And so for me, it's the girl yes is yes, you can achieve it as soon as you tell yourself yes. So the hashtag girl yes is for me is a movement of empowering women to say yes to their goals, their ambitions, whether it's pageantry, entrepreneurship, anything. It's just really affirming yes. We hear no every day. No, you can't get the job. No, you can't have the raise. No, you can't have the cake. no, you no, you can't afford those, $2,000 shoes. Women need to hear yes more. And so if I have to affirm, girl, yes, in order for you to feel that you can accomplish that golden dream, then that's what I'm going to do. So that's where girl, yes came from.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And my stylist, I call her like a sister to me. She she
Yes.
she gave me that girl yes moment because I
Hmm.
was sitting in her chair, second guessing myself,
Yep.
and it was because of her. And and just the way you make everybody feel. I say that when you get your hair done, it's like you just feel like a new woman, a new
Oh, yeah.
person. She gave me that girl yes to go out and achieve my dreams. So cosmetologists, you guys do so much more for us than just doing our hair. I mean,
Yes.
I feel as though you really do give your customers the inspiration to go out and achieve and be the best version of ourselves, and in turn
Yes.
you do that for yourself as well. Like you're
Right.
pouring into others and you're pouring into yourself.
Exactly. And that's why for me, why it's so important for me to always pour back into me because I give all day. And so I give at work, I give at home, I give at church, I give in the community. So I have to constantly give back to myself. So it's very important.
And let me ask you, because I told you I've been looking at stuff, and I think this will be year number 13. And I think you've been an influencer, well, content creator. I think it's about, is it year 13?
It will
Okay, this
be,
month.
no, it will be year 12.
12 this month, right?
12. Yep.
See, I was all into stuff. I was into stuff. And
Yeah.
I think that is amazing because, especially in pageantry, we know how important creating content is and
Right.
networking and putting ourselves out there. So, as someone who's been doing, content creating and influencing for so long, can you tell us some advice you can give us to really know how to be socially active on social media? The key components to
Sure.
it.
Well, so again, it really comes back to the authenticity piece. And I think a lot of times, again, especially with social media, everyone wants to have the aesthetic of perfection. It's not real. And you're able to connect with your audience by being you, whether that is quirky, silly like I am, vocal like I am. That is what your audience is watching your content for. They watch my content because I have a little sass to how I talk. I'm going to give you the real deal, no chaser. And so that is what my audience is attracted to. Yes, they come for the educational portions of it, but they come because I'm saying something in a way that they can relate to. The relatability portion is what makes content great. And I say this all the time as an example. There are millions of hairdressers in the world, right? Everyone knows how to blow dry. We taught that in school. The only difference from your hairdresser's blow dry and possibly my blow dry is our personality. That's the only thing that makes you go to her versus you coming to me. We're doing the same exact service. And if you think about your social media in that way, only you can relay your message your way. So I can say the same thing that you say, but there are going to be people who are going to identify with me because of the way that I speak, the way that I relay the message, the mannerisms in which I use to relay that message. So social media is about being social, but being authentic to you. That is the most important part of social media, and everything else can be learned.
Oh, I love that. And so, how did you start? Because you have a lot of longevity. I see you on YouTube. Like you have
Yeah.
so many different platforms. So, what's the best way that you got started?
Well, my journey was interesting. I was on maternity leave with my oldest. Yeah. And I was bored and I've been doing hair since I've been doing hair since I was 13. But I was home, I didn't have anything to do. I didn't want to clean. And so I went in the bathroom. I was 9 months pregnant and I found a box of tissue and I just put the box of tissue on my countertop with an old camcorder that my grandmother had. She gave it to me from QVC. And I just put it on the box of tissue, turned the camera on, and I curled my hair. The video is still up, by the way. It's my first video. It's still there. It's nice and blurry. And I'm just curling my hair in the bathroom. And back then it was YouTube was used as a way for creatives like myself to kind of talk about what curling irons we were using, the products that we liked for our clients and stuff like that. And again, it was about being authentic. Oh, you curl your hair this way? Well, I curl my hair that way. Oh, let's try that. But there wasn't anything of trying to portray ourselves in a way that wasn't authentic to who we were. We were just showing our talents and connecting. It was about being authentic and building relationship with the community. And so that's how it started. And people were like, oh, well, started asking questions. I'm like, oh, sure, I love this. Let's talk. I'm using this curling iron. Oh, I love this hairspray. Oh, this is great. And so from me being able to build that audience and be authentic to that audience and just talking and building those relationships, that is what has kept me on social media so long because now they know me. They've seen my kids grow up. They've seen me have my children. They've seen me buy my house. They've seen me start pageantry. They see me write my book. They have literally been with me this entire time. But it's because I built a community. And so community is what's going to keep you in any journey, pageantry, entrepreneurship, anything. The community that you build through authenticity is what's going to keep you that longevity.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of social media, as we know, it can be so negative, and sometimes that really does impact women,
Mhm.
and teens and their self-esteem. So what advice can you give, especially to these young girls? Because growing up for me, we didn't have all that. You didn't
Mhm.
have all that stuff. We didn't have it, but now they do. And so many people can be invested into you. And sometimes it can be very negative. And it can really impact you in a negative way. So what
Right.
advice would you give young girls when it comes to social media?
So I have what young girls and for adults as well, because I know that I do see now that adults sometimes can be susceptible to that as well, because we know mental health is very
Yes.
important on social media. So I would definitely say to utilize the features that social media has. And a lot of times people don't know that you can actually filter out words on most social media platforms, Instagram as well. So you can filter out words like, let's say, weight,
Hmm.
um, anything that might make you self-conscious. It can be fat, words like fat, words like uh, racial slurs. You can kind of filter out some of those things. That is going to eliminate about 30% of the negative comments that you see. From there, I would also say to again utilize the block button, utilize the restriction button, and then also when you know who you are, it makes it harder for people to use that against you. And I think even for myself, like when I first started social media, I had a thing where because I talked really fast because I was so excited,
Yeah.
I would often stumble over my words or I wouldn't enunciate. And I even do it now sometimes. I wouldn't enunciate. But these are things that I'm fully aware of. And because I'm fully aware of that, you can't use that against me. So when I see certain comments or, why did she win? She's not a size 4. I'm like, I know I'm not a size 4. And here's the piece of cake to show you that I'm not a size 4. It tastes so
That's right.
good.
That's right.
I don't
Uh,
give these people the space on my platform to bully me. And I think that is what a lot of people, a lot of the mistakes that we make on social media, we highlight the negative and we don't shine a light on the positive. So if I can give you one big piece of advice, I would definitely say to not always talk about the negative things that you see. So even on my platforms, especially my YouTube, because it started for me for YouTube, my community is conditioned. If they see negative comments, don't even engage in it. Don't respond to it. Don't try to help me to talk about these people. Don't say anything because as soon as you highlight the negative, it's going to outshine the positive. We don't shine any light on darkness. Light brings out light. So I act like I don't see it. I delete it and I ignore. That is how I've had this longevity. I don't pay any attention. Oh, I say, oh, that's how you feel. I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, good luck to you. I mean, I act just like I don't see it.
that
Delete.
is so true.
Yeah, I literally delete it. I don't even like mess
I
with
have
it.
block parties. I call them block parties. You get blocked or deleted out of
Mhm.
here.
Yep. I don't even see it. So I mean, I would probably say that's the biggest piece of advice. But I am very aware that not only have I been on social media for a very long time, and that I've conditioned myself to be able to ignore and to block. I know that that's not everybody's story. So I would definitely say if you know that there's something that is triggering for you on social media, then you might have to just take some time to address that with in whatever way that is impactful for you, but definitely try to utilize some of those strategies I talked about before where you're restricting certain words or the things that you feel might trigger you. You're restricting those phrases, we call them keywords. You're restricting some of those keywords so that those topics don't even come up on your social media.
And that's really good because social media has changed a lot where you can restrict those words. You can limit comments or not have comments at all.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many different ways that you can keep your space. Because I love how you said it's your space.
Yes.
Keep it positive, but if don't come in my space with anything. And I said, now don't come in my space with anything negative. That's
Right.
my space. It's like my home.
No, it is
I'm
your
not
home.
because
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
I'm not inviting that. But
This is your home on the internet. This is where you live. And you're not going to allow anyone else to come in and bring their garbage into your home. Take the trash
absolutely.
out.
That's right. And you
Yeah.
have to look at it that way. And like you said, focus more on the positive. I love that because there's way more positive going on
Oh
than
yeah.
those few little negative comments made by somebody who made a fake account just so they can go on there,
Hmm.
hide
And
behind their laptop
you
and
know
say
half the time you know these people. That's the real gag. But yeah, just like, next. And also too, for anyone who might be younger or even just getting into social media, I really want you to also take into consideration that anytime you see someone writing something negative, and this is really something I believe in. When you see someone writing those negative comments, you really have to think about the type of person who has that much time to sit at a computer, study you, watch you, see your light, and try to dim it. We should actually have empathy for those people because something's wrong. They need help. The people that we're, especially in pageantry, the people we are trying to impact are the people who are leaving those negative comments. So that is where we kind of go to the drawing board, say, this is how we know we have more work to do. We still have people to impact. So just let your light shine.
absolutely. And that's the moral of your story because you
Right.
definitely let your light shine. Just let it keep shining and
Yeah.
be you and be happy. I always say life's too short to not be happy and let
I'm
negative
telling
people
you.
influence your life. It's just no
Hmm.
time for it. Not in
Yep.
this world.
Yes, and honey, I'm out. If you anyone who is new here, who is new to me, one thing that you will see on my social media is I'm going to shine, honey. Okay, I'm going to let the light shine. And so for me, when the negative comments come in, I'm able to swipe left and delete because I'm like, I am too blessed to be stressed, and I've gone through so much to be able to get here. This is my celebration. This is my time to allow all of the hard work that I have done to get to this point to shine. I don't have no time for negativity. So yes, I'm just going to be smiling and happy in my little social media pictures.
And you look good in your pictures too.
Thank
But see,
you.
your positive light made me shine and it made me smile. I said,
Thank
this is
you.
easy to see what type of woman you are because
Thank you.
the moral of your story is I always say with social media, a lot of times it tells you a story and it
Hmm.
automatically told me who you were. You were just a positive light and your girls are just the cutest little things. I was like, there's just doll babies, little miniature you run around behind you.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yes.
But
Spending
that
all my
tells your
money.
story. That's who you are as a person,
Yeah.
and it really does tell a story. But let me ask you this, because you give so much advice. What is the greatest advice that you think you have received thus far?
Mm. It's kind of emotional. It's from my grandmother. It's from my grandmother. My grandmother passed last year. And one of the things that she would always say to me when I was frustrated and I didn't understand why things weren't going my way, the way that I thought things should go, she would say, with love and kindness, I draw thee. And it kind of goes back to what we just said is a Bible scripture that a lot of times we are operating in ourself and how we think things should go. And when they don't go our way, we get into our egos, into our emotions, and that's not how we impact people. We impact people with love. We impact people with kindness. And so that scripture and that saying is instilled in me now. But I think about that when I'm volunteering and someone might say something about potentially pageantry, or they might say something about whatever. I think about the love and the kindness. That is what is going to draw people into pageantry, into mentorship, into entrepreneurship. And so I think that's the biggest piece of advice. Lead with love and kindness. Everything else follows.
Absolutely. And I always say the world would be a better place if we had more love and kindness in it for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, your pageant system is amazing. I mean, and you did such a great job. But I have to know this question because I'm sure a lot of people are curious to know,
Okay.
what happens in that interview room? Nobody really knows. Like, it's just between you and those judges. So, can you tell me what type of questions, or if there was a unique question that you got while you were being interviewed for your title that you're just like, I'll never forget that?
Well, you know what's interesting? Again, I don't have, I mean, I haven't done like a million pageant interviews. I've done a few, but I will say I can remember, I think, all five of my questions. Out of the five, the one that I think was the most, I would say the most emotional for me was what is your what is your drive to get up in the morning? What drives you to get up in the morning and continue to do the work? I believe that was how it was phrased. Um, and I don't quote me on that, but that's essentially what the question was. What is my inspiration for getting up and to continuing that work? And that was my opportunity to really, as we say in church, um, bring them home. And it really was an opportunity for me to share my story and why I do all of the mentorship, because I wanted to become the woman that I needed. That's what started all of this. And so I think those types of questions are are needed in pageantry, especially when you're trying to weed out the person who is going to be crowned. Again, there are hundreds of women, tens, 20, women who are competing for this title. And I think it's really hard, especially when everyone has to look, they're all answering the questions perfectly. But what is going to, again, set you apart is that authenticity piece. When you know why you're doing it and the judges can relate to why you're doing that and really feel your passion and your drive behind what you're doing, I think that's what, for me, is what separated me from all of the amazing women that I competed with, because these women are seasoned veterans, some of them. And I think for me, that's probably what set me apart, is because I believe the judges were able to see my authenticity and see the passion behind what it is that I'm doing. They see it not only in the interview room, but they were also able to see that on social media, because I lived by what I said in the interview room. It wasn't, I waited a week before the pageant and I started doing all this community service. I've been doing this stuff. And so I think when they're able to put those two puzzle pieces together and say, we seen that this is what she was doing on social media. This is everything that aligns with what she's saying in these questions that we're giving her. And then we can identify with everything that she's saying. We can feel the emotion and the drive and the authenticity piece. And I think all of those things bring it together. And now I am your International Mrs. USA.
Yes, you are. And like I said, you talk that talk, walk the walk. I always say it, do the job. And
Right,
you walked in there already doing the job.
right,
And
right,
that's what separated you. And you're doing a great job. I always say your invisible crown should sound just as bright as that physical crown that is put on your head. And
right,
that is exactly what you have done.
right. And even more so sometimes. Without that,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm still I retired and put that crown away, but
Are
I'm
you
still
sure?
going. I'm
Are
still
you
going.
sure?
Oh my goodness, there you go again too.
Retire? Are you sure?
Those shoes are in my closet at home. I'm
Mm,
tired.
we'll talk. We'll talk. We'll see.
Trying to take me out of retirement.
We'll see.
So we'll see. Well, before you go, we have to play a game.
Sure.
Don't know if you're familiar with this game, but it's called This or That.
Okay.
And with me, I'll let you have one where it can be both, because there's always one where I'll let you slide. I'll
Okay.
give you that. I'm
Okay.
a little lenient. Okay. A dress with a slit or without.
With.
I was gonna say you need to show them legs. Yeah, show them legs. Ooh. Sleeves or no sleeves for evening gown? This is a good one. Mm,
Sleeves? Mm.
it's a tough one.
No sleeves.
Yeah, let's go say no sleeve. Just show it. Um, East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Hello.
I
Jeans or
mean,
leggings? I need to be quiet. I'm on the West Coast right now, so I don't want to say that too loud. But East Coast for the
jeans,
win.
jeans or
Jeans or leggings?
leggings.
Hmm.
Ooh,
That's a tough one.
it is. I am actually, hmm, I am going to actually go with leggings.
Yes, leggings on now. Ooh, on stage question or interview?
For me, I like the lights, but I would say interview.
Yes, that would be one that I would say you could have had both because I see you shining for both. Oh, this might be a tough one.
Okay,
Early bird or night owl?
night owl.
Ooh, okay. So you stay up late. Okay, you like me. We don't go to bed.
I never,
Okay.
never,
So
never.
is it nude or red lipstick?
Nude.
Okay, that's me too. Okay. Ooh, one piece swimsuit or two piece?
It depends on if I had cake. If I,
We're back to the cake.
and funny, you know what's funny though? I don't even eat cake. That's the funny part. I'm a candy girl, but I would I would say, you know what? No, I would definitely say one piece, regardless.
Regardless of the cake or candy, we're doing the one piece.
I'll do one piece. Yes.
Okay, sash or crown?
Mm, I love my bling.
I
Sash,
know. Yes, what you wear across your heart. Yes. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. Dress or jumpsuit?
dress.
Okay. Natural glam or full glam?
Mm, mm.
This is a
Now
tough one. This
this
is
is
a
a
tough one.
tough one. Ooh.
This is tough.
It is. I'm go. My heart
I
is
love this game.
my heart is saying natural glam,
Okay.
but the queen in me wants to natural glam. I'll go with natural glam. Final answer.
Yes, girl, yes. Okay. You had both because you spun your hair there. I was like, yeah, she feeling this one. She feeling this. That one I'm gonna let you have both because I felt this girl yes in both. So I'm gonna let you have both.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you
yeah.
Oh, practice or wing it?
Say that one more time.
Practice or wing it?
Oh no, practice. Mm-mm.
Sneakers or stilettos?
Stilettos.
Okay. Okay. I'm getting to some questions that are definitely in your work, your field of work. Curly or straight hair?
Oh,
She won't ready for that.
I wasn't
It's a tough one.
straight.
Oh, okay, straight. Hair up.
Timeless.
Okay. Hair up or hair down?
Up.
Okay. First pageant with or without a coach?
First.
Very first pageant. Should you have a coach or should you not?
Oh, you need a coach.
And you know,
Oh,
it's funny.
Jesus.
Some people say with, and I've heard some title holders say without. Say some just say just go out there and you know.
I did that, and I wish I had a coach. Girl, help me. Help me.
She's like, because I've been there, done that. Get the coach. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love it. Uh, so here we go. Let me see. There's an ball gown or mermaid.
mermaid.
Okay, long nails or short nails.
Ooh. Short.
Me too. I have to have short because I'm typing
Yeah.
all the time, tearing up my nails.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get this last good one here. Okay. Ooh, natural brows or field brows?
Natural.
Natural brows. Okay. Let me make sure there's not one more. Ooh, okay. Overdressed or underdressed? That was the one.
Over.
Okay, she said that really, really quick. Okay, so I know you probably don't have much time for this, but are you a Netflix person or Hulu?
Neither.
I knew you were going to say that because you're so busy.
I don't watch TV at all.
I didn't think that you had time for that. I mean, but I had to ask.
But if I had a choice, I would probably say Netflix because all of the older movies are on there, I think.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah,
get
so
some
Netflix.
good stuff on Netflix. Like Hulu just kind of just shows you some of the stuff that you see on the same network. You know,
Yeah, I watch the same thing over and over all the time. I'm a creature of habit. It's weird, but yeah.
it's not weird. That's me too. It just makes things easier when I have my same routine.
Yes, yes.
Well, let me tell you, I have just had a ball with you. I knew I was excited. I said she has a lot of personality. We're gonna get along great. We're gonna have us a ball. There's
Oh
so much
yeah.
we can talk about. We could have kept going and going, but I'm gonna keep just following you and keep going. Girl, yes, just girl, yes. And I want to say thank you so much for giving us a chance to gain some insight on who
Thank
you
you
are.
so
But
much.
before you go, let people know where they can follow you. If you have any projects coming up, how they can get involved.
Yes. So, as you guys already know, I am on every social media platform, every single one of them, including Pinterest at Chimere Nicole. You can also follow me on my blog, chimerenicole.com, which I write articles on mental health, of course, pageantry now, and everything, girl. Yes, be bold, ambitious, and beautiful. And yeah, everywhere.
You are everywhere and you're going to take over the world, as I always like to say. And I cannot wait to see all that you're going to accomplish for your pageant journey. So, thank you again so much for joining us. And I hope that you have a wonderful evening, Shamir. And I'll
Thank
be
you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Bye,
really
everybody.
appreciate you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. I am Vera Morris with Beauty Queens Galore, the pageant resource. And stay tuned for more interviews coming up. And I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful night. Thank you.